Hey, what's up, everybody? Um, I just want to talk to you guys about this cancel culture, and I think I did a video on it before about cancel culture, and it's something that's just gone way too far to where you can cancel somebody over what they say, over their speech, and we live in a place, especially a country, where you should have freedom of thought, freedom of opinion, freedom of religion, and the right to say what you want to say. And we just see today that regardless if we agree with someone or not, like I say, for example, Kanye West, whether you love him or hate him or whatever, and I'm not a fan, but I'm just looking at how they cancel him over him having his own opinions and thoughts, and maybe he said something about Jews or whatever that may been distasteful to some, but it is his opinion, it is his belief or thought or whatever you want to call it. And because he offended the mass majority who are on the woke side, they will try to uh, stop you or shut you down or censor you because they don't agree with what you say. And so, they shut down his, I think, some banking institution uh, separated themselves from Kanye West, and you have some other clothers or clotheslines and something like that. They're trying to separate themselves from Kanye, and bank accounts shut down and just different things like that, and Twitter accounts shut down. And so because everybody want to hop on the bandwagon of this wokeism, which is really being sleep, because we don't like what you say, but yet people on their side of certain views, on their side of certain opinions, if they can say anything they want to freaking say, and they don't get their bank accounts closed, they don't get their Twitters taken off. Even when you look at Donald Trump, how they took off his Twitter, but yet you had people in terrorist groups, verified terrorist groups who had Twitter accounts, but they got to stay up. Now, how backwards is that? So it's just like, if you're not on this left side of thinking or this think tank, and if you don't see things the way they see it, or if you divorce yourself from that mentally or politically, whatever have you, then we cancel you now. But, I recall looking at sitcoms back in the 70s and 80s, and the Archie Bunkers and Sanford and Sons and all of this stuff. They said stuff all the time that was very, colorful in certain terms of, it was to the point, and people didn't get easily offended by certain terms they use racially or whatever, or certain speech they use. So, um, I tell you, it's just we live in a sensitive culture today, where you offend me by your speech. Well, who isn't offended by something someone says? Who's not offended by some people's vulgar language? Well, you can just simply turn the TV off, turn the radio off, not listen to that person no more, not follow them, don't buy their shoes. But you don't have to cancel their bank accounts because you're upset with what they say, or you don't have to cancel a certain contract even if they're bringing in money. I mean, it's like, for you and your company, through your joint ventures that you guys have together, it's amazing times we live in, where there's rules for thee, but not for me. And I could say whatever I want to if I'm with the in crowd, but you can't. And if you do, we're not going to ask you to take it back or apologize. We're just going to destroy your whole life. So pretty much what they did to Kanye West is they Alex Jonesed him, because Alex Jones was a That's the reason why they call him the tip of the spear, is because he's 10, 20, 15 years ahead of everybody on certain information and news before anyone else comes out with it who's part of the truth community. And yet, because he has so much pull and influence, they had to silence him and shut him up. And this is why they're constantly suing him and trying to bring all these false articles out and defamation suits, and is bringing up this stupid Sandy Hook stuff. And only thing they can talk about is gay frogs and Sandy Hook, and that's it. But when you ask them, do you listen to the show, or what else do you know that he talks about? And they say, no, I don't listen to the show. No, I don't listen to him. So you see, it's pretty much a lot of people that's just on the bandwagon, or whether it's on the right side or the left side, who says the same thing, and they're just groupies, just like lemmings falling off a cliff, instead of being able to think for yourself. Because when one is a person who can really think for themselves, they will look into stuff for themselves. They will not just jump on the popular opinion, but actually have a mind of their own and do research for their own selves. But I mean, again, even Ted, was it Bill Maher, who I do not like, but he's actually been making a lot of valid points on some of his shows lately, and concerning at least freedom, and he even said, though he doesn't like Alex Jones, he said Alex Jones has a right to speak because we're in a public square. The internet is a public square, and so Kanye and all these others who people don't like have a right to speak. And they canceled Gina Carano from Star Wars just because she had a more conservative view of things, and they took her off of Star Wars, and people was upset because of that, just because she had an opinion of her own. And some other lady from another show, and what's his name from Home Improvement, he said something, and they didn't like that. It was his own opinion, and it was freedom or conservative based, and just common sense based, and we don't like that, so we're gonna take you off your show. We're gonna cancel your show. We're gonna cancel Roseanne. We're just gonna cancel you. So, this is what you call cancel culture, and it's sad. Take your bank accounts. That's what they did with Jones. Took it all. Mailchimp, his email, the ones who run all his emails and handles his email servers. They abandoned him. It's like everybody wanted to be this little whore and just fall in line to the pimp daddy of culture, this Marxist madness, and just jump on the bandwagon. Instead, you just simply just turn it off if you don't like it. There's some things that people say that I like. I may not agree with the point they make or something they say, but I mean that doesn't mean that the rest of the stuff that they say isn't good. It's just that I don't agree with that point. Or I mean, people are just so sensitive, and they're just little, with the W, little wussies, these days, and it's just they're so frail, and we live in this soft, weak, pathetic, sensitive culture that's so offended. It's just like they just want to be offended by everything. And so it shows you what some people are made of out here today, and every little thing offends you, and grow up and don't fall into line with that stupid wokeism and all this dumb stuff of the day. Think for yourself. All right. God bless y'all.